Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Shuga Says Let's Talk Live, and Let's Talk, you know we will do indeed. It is the close of July, if you can believe it, and 1 month of Shuga Says Let's Talk Live. Come on, clap it up, you guys. We made it to 1 month of Shuga Says, and I know you have enjoyed it because I have enjoyed all the special guests that have come on. So thank you to everybody that came on to talk live, and of course to spread positive news and positive information, because you can never get too much of positive words, because what the world needs is love, sweet love. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, I am just so excited about, of course, having my wonderful co-host join me for yet another Shuga Says Let's Talk Live, and he has so many things to tell us as he updates us on his new journey of magical things happening in 2020. 2020 is not canceled, y'all. There are still magic things going on, and very exciting, one of my good friends, a sensational actor and a craftsman, Stephen Hohendorf, will be here with us, showing us all the magic, tuning in on all the juicy hot topics in film and in theater. And I know you guys can't wait to see him, because he is wonderful for the eyes and great for the brain, because he's a wonderful conversationalist. So without further ado, let's just jump on in. Let me bring my fantastic co-host on. Tyler, are you there? Are you there? Hey!
I'm here. Look in the background. I have my Shuga Says.
Yes!
I
love that. Wonderful. Come on, Shuga Says. We have made it to 1 month. Can you believe it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think we've been killing it, you know.
Yes.
And it's just fun to have these conversations every Friday.
Yes, indeed. I truly look forward to it. And again, thank you so much for being my wonderful co-host. And to all the viewers, thank you for being with us on today. So let us bring on our special guest, Tyler. You know him. You've worked with him. Isn't he incredible? Isn't he fantastic?
Amazing. One of my favorite people.
Yes, indeed. Y'all clap it up wherever you are for Stephen. Bring him on. Bring him on. Hey!
Hi, you guys. Oh, what an intro. Great to see you both.
Yes, great to see you too. Stephen, please introduce yourself to the Shuga Says viewers.
Hello, I'm Stephen Hohendorf. I'm an actor, singer, dancer, director, choreographer, and teacher now.
Yes.
Yeah, and so happy to be here.
Now, where are you coming to us from?
I'm coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. There's a lot of things going on over there.
Yes.
One of the hot topics are the increasing number of the coronavirus numbers. Can you give us a little bit of update on what's been happening over there in those streets?
Absolutely. So, late May, early June, everything opened up again. And I think a lot of people took that as the pandemic is over. So, life is going back to normal. We can go outside without masks on. We can, resume our normal lives. And about 30 days ago, our governor had to put us on another phase of lockdown because people just weren't adhering to social distancing and wearing masks. Gyms were a big part of it. I admittedly did go to the gym those 3 or 4 weeks where things were open, and they weren't enforcing people wearing masks. I did because I just, felt better wearing one. And then they claimed that they were going to enforce social distancing, and they did for the first couple of weeks, but then more and more people started to come. And of course, it's more difficult to do that. So gyms are closed again. Theaters are closed, although I don't know of any in the area that even opened at all. And they restricted the number of people allowed indoors for dining. And so that was about 30 days ago, and they're going to continue it because although our numbers aren't growing, they're kind of staying the same. So we'll see. I mean, it's a crazy time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So how have you been dealing with all this, because it's like it's a continuous emotional roller coaster. I know
Yes.
here, I'm in New York, I am emotional with the people that are not cooperating. You just feel like you just want to knock somebody out, because you know what? It's like a group project. And you know, group projects are contingent on everybody participating in the group, which
Right.
is why I never liked group projects in school. I love the independent projects because I can't have my grade be dependent on you. So I know it must be frustrating. So how does that make you feel, and how are you really navigating this whole entire journey?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it, a group project. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the best that I can. I honestly only go to the grocery store. I wear my mask, and for the rest of the time, I'm just at home, doing whatever I can to do my part.
Okay. Well, I wish you continuous safety, because we need you to stay alive, stay
Yeah.
jubilated, so we can continue to see your wonderful face. We can't have all these people in the group messing up your hustle, because that is no good. And speaking of a hustle, let's just jump right into surviving a pandemic, the actor's hustle. Now, let's start with you, Stephen, since you are over there in Arizona. What are you doing to still keep those coins percolating? I know you just said and a teacher, so let's talk to us a little bit about what's happening with you and getting that hustle on.
Yeah, I don't know who said it, but I read someone said, actors are really poised for what's going on in the world right now because people probably don't realize, but we're never sure where our next job is going to be coming from, and we're always hustling. How do I
Right.
make this work? How do I try to get more income? What skills do I have that could be useful in that? So, in some ways, I think we're very fortunate. The fact that there is not live theater right now is not so is not so fortunate. But yeah, I've been, the key for me has really been to stay physically active. I try to, lift weights 5 times a week, do some yoga, some meditation. Creatively, I and a couple of friends are working on a web series. I can give you some more details about that later.
Yes,
So
please.
that's been awesome, just to keep the creative juices flowing. And then I've recently started teaching musical theater camps at a youth theater in the area. And we've been adhering to all the safety guidelines. We've limited the number of kids allowed. We wear masks the whole time, and we social distance. So we're staying safe, and we're staying creative, and we're dancing and singing and acting, and just sharing our passion for theater together.
Which is beautiful, because I know that has to be very therapeutic, not only for you, but
Yes.
also for the children. What age group are you teaching?
So I've done a couple. One I did was 8 to 13, and the other one I did was 13 to 17. And then I'm going to be starting another one next week. So yeah.
Okay. How has that been? Okay, so you have 8 to 13. So you have the ones that comply, and then you have the other ones with their hormones pumping all over the place. I'm just gonna be real. That's what Sugar says it for. That was the cleanest version that I could say. But to anybody that's been 13 or been around 13 year olds, you already know what I'm referring to. How do you keep these groups social distance and adhering to these policies and procedures in a nice, friendly, and jubilant fashion?
Yeah, of course. So we have like little dots on the floor that are 6 feet apart, so we know where we're supposed to be. And, we're just disinfecting the areas as much as we can and using hand sanitizer. I'm sure they're tired of me getting on them about that. But yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, it's better that you get them and they keep it safe than them get the Rona, because don't nobody want that Rona. Not at all. Well, lovely. And in the same vein of teaching, Tyler, you have an update to give us too on the actors hustle through a pandemic. So let us know what you have going on as well.
Yes, I just moved to Alexandria, Louisiana on Monday.
Yes.
On Tuesday, I officially got my license, and
Driver's license for that, y'all.
I'm like tooting and beeping around town,
Come on,
driving
toot, toot, beep, beep.
slow. Everybody here is like, who is this new kid driving this slow like SUV, and it's me. I don't understand why nobody goes the speed limit. But I'm really excited. I'm moving to my new apartment. I'm trying to slowly make it home, like as I go through. You know what I mean? But I'm taking my time with it. I've had a lot of meetings because we're trying to figure out like what we're gonna do with the pandemic and school starting. School's already been delayed a week, and we don't know if it's going to be delayed more. We don't know what's going on, but the general consensus here is that we want to get kids back in school, but in the safest way possible. So we're not going to open if it's not safe, but we also are going to do whatever we can to make it as safe as possible so they can get back into some kind of like environment where they're learning, they're having fun, they're doing their thing, And for us, like specifically in the theater department, because I'm only teaching theater classes, they've kind of just given me, the administrators have kind of just given me the freedom to like figure out a curriculum that goes with the pandemic, But
wow.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's great. I'm like, thank you. Like this will be amazing. But hopefully we can get at least 2 productions in this year. I think the first one that we're going to do will probably be in December. And depending on like the state of the country, it may be, the kids are on stage and we're just live streaming it. But I'm hoping and praying that by the spring, if everyone is just, obeying the law and wearing their mask and social distancing, that we can put on a big spring musical, because these kids haven't had one in the past 2 years. And I really want to give that to them this year.
Wow, that's an amazing transition. Creating curriculums, having to deal with a pandemic, keeping the children apart, getting your driver's license, moving to a new town.
Oh, yes.
Wow, and wow.
Yes.
All in your own apartment. You gotta jump in, and like Steven said, I feel like actors are built for this. So to all my performer friends, as I've been saying all month, you might have been curled up in the corner March, April, but it is almost August. It is time to free yourself and now aspire to bigger and better things, because we are built for this. If anything, we are built for this because we hustle hard. Speaking about hustling hard, let's move on to the Emmy nominations. Now, people weren't sure because of Corona how the Emmy nominations were going to go, or if the Emmys was going to happen. But let me tell you something. That Emmy committee has been holding on tight to the through the awards date of September 20th, of course, 2020. And I'm just going to be a little messy right here. Unlike the Tonys that escaped us, the Emmys are not. And I have to, as an actor, I'm still sour about that. Not that I don't like Grease the musical, but the Tonys, you left us. But moving forward, the Emmys will not be leaving us. And there was a great list of nominations. And because we have a lot of Black Lives movement happening, we had quite a diverse field of Black actors, Black women actors, and a lot of everybody in between. So that was fantastic. So leading the Emmy nomination was Netflix with 160 nominations. Leading the pack of that is Ozark. And for those that don't watch, that is a great show on Netflix, led by, oh my gosh, his name just escaped me. Oh my goodness.
Jason Bateman.
Thank you. This is why you have guests on the show. Yes, Jason Bateman, who I love very much. And second in the lead of nomination was HBO with 107 nominations. And at the top of the list was The Watchmen with Regina King, who also was nominated. And for those that have not had the opportunity to watch The Watchmen, you need to tune in. Great series for this time. And I hope with all these nominations that the writer and creator decides to come back on, because he did the first season, and when they were waiting to decide if there was going to be a second season, he decided to opt out. And I'm like, how can you leave us hanging? For those that have watched it, have you guys watched The Watchmen? Have you seen it?
I have not, but I heard great things about it. So I can't wait to watch it. I got my new TV, and after the nominations, I was like, oh, I have to get up.
You have to.
It is literally, it's literally the next thing on my list.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
brilliant. I can't. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that, Stephen. I may have to bring you back after you watch it because
Perfect.
visually, the script is wonderful. The performance is wonderful. Great, great. So I hope after receiving all these nominations that he's like, that's coins attached to it. Let me see if I can come back on board. Other notable mentions: the marvelous Mrs. Maisel was nominated as well. Oh, Zendaya received her first nomination for Euphoria. Billy Porter
Yeah.
for Pose, Don Cheadle for Black Monday. That is on Showtime for those that haven't seen that show. A dark comedy, crazy, but a good one. Insecure, Curb Your Enthusiasm, FX Mrs. America, and a bunch of other faves that I know you guys have seen and liked. So I'm excited for this because it's a great mixture of shows that I have watched, great performances, and I love a good show. And I'm looking forward to the Emmys committee not disappointing me because I'm putting it out there. I know they're going to give me a stellar smashing award show, and I just can't wait. Stephen, give us your thoughts on the Emmy nominations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just feel so lucky to be living in this day and age for TV. Like the stuff that's being produced and the performances are just incredible. I mean, when you have Oscar award-winning actors like Olivia Colman and Meryl Streep up for TV performances, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna decide, especially in the category of Best Actress.
It is true. It is true. So it's up to all you SAG people to kind of, and also whoever is on the Emmy committee to make those decisions. But like you said, there's so many stellar performances. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you choose? What is amazing about TV, and TV I include not just TV but streaming, is that the small screen is just now as relevant as the big screen, which back in the day was not. So it's wonderful, especially as an actor, that we have access to all these wonderful opportunities, because that means more opportunity for coins and work. And we all love how that is. Tyler, your thoughts on the Emmy nominations? Oh, is he frozen? Did we lose him? Oh my gosh, there it goes, frozen yet again. You know what? Every now and then we freeze up, but that's how it goes down in live, you guys. You just got to roll with the punches. I think he's back. Hold on, let me bring him back. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this way.
You froze.
So, y'all, there's a storm. I don't know if you've noticed me looking off to the... There's a storm going on, and I just lost power.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness, what is going on? And like this storm just knocked out all of my power. So I'm on my cell phone. We love technology.
Oh, okay. Come on now, rolling with the punches. This is the amazing things that happen during live transmission. And because we are professional performers, we just smile our way through it and we keep things going. Are you good enough to let us know your thoughts on the Emmy nominations?
Yes, and I'm good enough to bring in a little controversy with them because so I feel like I love, first of all, I have to acknowledge, this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've read this multiple times, the most Black nominations we've had in performance categories ever, which I am just like, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for it. However, I do not understand the lack of representation with the Pose cast. And this is coming from a person who is obsessed with his stories. I love my television. I love to watch all of these shows. I look forward to the Emmys every year. And even before the Black Lives Matter movement, came back, because it happens in waves, unfortunately. It can never stick. You know what I mean? It happens in waves. And before this powerful wave happened, I already was looking forward to Pose's nominations, multiple nominations for performances, because, look, I don't know who's watched Pose and who hasn't, but the first season of Pose was great. And the actors were great, but a lot of them seemed a little bit green, at least on a show of that caliber. Season 2, oh my goodness, it was like the kinks were waved out. I thought MJ Rodriguez gave one of the best
performances
by lead actress of this year. And I have love for all of the actresses who were nominated in that category. Especially Zendaya, because I think Euphoria is a great piece of art.
Yes, it's doing well.
There was room for MJ Rodriguez in that category, and I just have a feeling that, Emmy Emmy nominating committee and Emmy voting committee, they still don't know where to place trans actors. And that to me is just not acceptable at this point. It shouldn't be in a comedy category every year if you're going to do it. You know what I mean? So that's my
And I
only.
like that you said, if you're going to do it, then do it correct. But go ahead.
That's just how I feel as far as this year goes. But I do think it's a great argument to have, because I'm like, well, at least I have a trans actress to argue about. You know, like I'm like, wow, like she's actually out here putting on these great performances that I'm so passionate about, that I'm like, wow, you got snubbed. You know what I mean? 3 years ago, this wouldn't even be a conversation. So I think as the show Pose progresses, now there's no excuse for Pose not being nominated for Best Drama Series. I've seen the series.
Agreed. Come on, Ryan Murphy's work. Like, I don't understand. You're right.
There's some arguments to be had because all of those ladies did great performances.
Yes.
However, no excuse for the drama series, but Pose is not going anywhere soon. So that time may come, and it might be Laura Linney's year anyway, so like it's okay. But that was my only tea on the Emmy nominations, where I was like, excuse me. They just kind of disappointed me a little bit with that.
Well, thank you for chiming in and let us know that. And as we continue to progress on through entertainment, through life, and through movements of inclusivity, hopefully the Emmy nomination committee will be more vocal and more inclusive for that. But all we can do is take it one step at a time. But speaking of inclusivity and highlighting greatness, the GLAAD Awards were yesterday virtually on YouTube, as well as I think Facebook and Twitter Live. Now, the GLAAD Media Awards, some of the outstanding, as you're talking about Pose, some of the highlights from the GLAAD Awards was Pose for Outstanding Drama Series. So you see the GLAAD Awards gave it its props, as well as Lil Nas X received the award for Outstanding Music Artist. And I want to say about Lil Nas X, he came on with this chiffon, see-through frill top. He was turned all the way up, thoroughly excited, and I really enjoyed that top. It was white. If you guys haven't seen it, you have to go on and take a peek. He looked truly sensational. Other highlights of the night, we had Schitt's Creek, which, Stephen, I want to thank you. You're the one that put me onto that show, and it has been a jewel in my life ever since. That one for the night, as well as Booksmart. And let me see. Oh, we had wonderful performances by Chloe and Hallie, and they performed with the Drag Race All-Star, and those girls did a fantastic, stellar job. As a matter of fact, all of the performances were actually quite lovely. I love the entire production of it, and I'm going to take it all the way back to the Antonio Awards, as well as the BT Awards, for setting the foundations of how we need to continue to build award shows moving forward. So thank you very much. And for those that had not had the opportunity to watch the GLAAD Awards, don't you worry, because it will be in rebroadcast on television on the Logo Network on August 3rd at 8 p.m. So check your local listings. You can catch it and you can see all the fabulousness, because it was fabulous. Let's see who we're going to go with. Tyler, give us your thoughts on the GLAAD Awards.
I loved the GLAAD Awards. First of all, Chloe and Hallie brought the house down. Yes. I mean, you can see them with every performance, with every album, with every single. They get just a little more confident. Yes. And with this one, they started, she was like, GLAAD Awards. And I was like, baby, you just singing to a cameraman, but you are getting it. She was living. Chloe and Hallie, they did a great job. They had Naomi Smalls, Vanessa Vanjie Mateo, and Mayhem Miller from Drag Race on, which that made everybody happy, okay? So it was amazing. I loved it. And then Demi Lovato introduced Shay Diamond, and she performed I Am American.
Good. Yes.
Oof. That was amazing. So it was just a great night. And you know what? The GLAAD Awards, they never disappoint. What I will say, because I bring in the messiness, what happened So I remember last year, Beyonce and Jay-Z won the Vanguard Award because of their work for the NYC shelters for LGBT youth. But Taylor Swift won an award this year because, she's been a real advocate in the past year. But it didn't happen. I don't know what happened. It was like in March, she was supposed to be there for the original awards and it got delayed. And then she didn't, it kind of disappeared. So I'm wondering if they're saving it for another year or like what happened. But I thought that was funny because I was looking forward to her speech, That was the only thing about it that I was like, oh, what happened to the Vanguard Award? But other than that, I mean, great night to celebrate the LGBTQ community, and it was just beautiful. I love the GLAAD Awards; they never disappoint.
Yes, and again, for those that didn't get a chance to watch it, you'll have your chance to watch it on August 3rd at 8 p.m. on Logo. Stephen, your thoughts on the GLAAD Awards?
Yes, well, first I just wanted to let the viewers know I'm starting my craft. So if
it is, and I'm about to introduce
a little distracted, that's what I do. Yes.
It is. We got so caught up in conversation. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to tell me about his craft, but that's all right. I have a beautiful segue coming up.
No worries.
But let us know about the GLAAD Awards.
Cool. Just piggybacking on what Tyler was saying about Pose. Yes, I completely agree. I think it's personally my favorite thing I've seen Ryan Murphy do. Yes. It's so important, such an important story. And so relevant too. So to not see it get the recognition it deserves at the Emmys, sad, but I'm so glad that it won Best Drama Series at the GLAAD Awards. And yay, Schitt's Creek, love it. I just finally watched the final season a few weeks ago. And Are You the One for a reality program. I don't know anything about it, but it won against Drag Race and Queer Eye. So it must be something worth watching.
Well, they did a little something with that show this past year where they made it the first show where every contestant on the show was either bisexual or asexual. So your match could have been a man, a woman, a non-binary person. Like it was.
Oh, I have a friend in that show. Bissett, that was the one on MTV, yes?
Yes.
Bissett's on that show and he does everything. Yes, you should see it. Yes, that show did do well. Yes, that did do well.
Yeah, so it did. So that's why it got, I mean, the show, it was a lot to watch, but like, that's why.
People do like a lot in messy.
Yes. But I think that's why I went over Drag Race because it was it was like the first dating show.
Okay.
Hi.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you. Now, because I was so excited for all these hot topics, I forgot to introduce one of our major hot topics for the day. Stephen is bringing on these wonderful crafts. He's going to craft for us. So, Stephen, just take it away. I'm just overly excited. It's the end of the month. It's July. It's hot. And I have hot people with me. So, I'm overjoyed. Stephen, let us know what you're going to be cooking up here on Shuga Says Let's Talk Live.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, so this is a project I've done for people in the past for Secret Santa or for opening night of a show. And basically, I take one of their looks from the show and recreate it with paper. So I'm going to show you a finished product. This is actually our mutual friend, Megan, in a production of Drowsy Chaperone she did a couple years ago. So that's the final product. And then I'm going to do one right now. All you need for this is like scrapbook paper you can get at a craft store. It's pretty inexpensive. Specialty paper you can get in books, whatever. And just a pencil, some scissors, and glue. That's really all you need. So I'm going to work on that as we continue talking.
Yes, indeed. Well, I can't wait to see. Tyler, you look at lost for words.
I was shook. I was literally like, okay, what's Steven's Venmo? Because like I need one of these. Like I need one Big River. Like this is amazing. Oh my goodness.
It is. How did you come up with this concept, Stephen, like to create this? Now, firstly, viewers, Stephen is a man of many different magical characteristics and all these traits and all these things that he does. Like he crafts. I did a show with him during quarantine. He made like patio furniture. He did a painting. Like he does all these incredible things. And I'm like, You're so magical. So how did you come up with this idea to create that? Please let us know.
Yeah, so I've always been kind of crafty. And one time I was doing a show and I was doing Secret Santa, and I had no idea what to do for this person. And my fiance suggested, why don't you do something crafty with paper? I've made like wallets out of playing cards and stuff. So doing like the little fine detail stuff is fun, I guess, for me. And so I just, did it that one time and it worked out well. So I've been doing it ever since.
Stephen is amazing, you guys. And if you don't know this wonderful person, you need to get to know him. Take this time while everything is calm and cool to do some research and get on board because he is sensational. Tyler, what do you have to say about this magicalness that Stephen has given us?
First of all, love it. Like, let's just put that there, okay? I have never been that kind of person. Like, I believe like the closest I've got to like coloring inside the lines was the Casey Musgraves coloring book that came out. I was like really into that, you know what I mean? Because my Joseph cast was like, you should get into coloring. It's calm, it's calming. And then I was like, actually, I got stressed because staying in the lines is just not for me.
Those stress me out too, to be honest. I never know what colors to choose. I'm like, does this look good together? I don't know. I feel ya.
Well,
but no,
even,
and like
even
Stephen, didn't you paint like the show? But for those of you who haven't worked at Prather Productions, backstage in the green room, there's so many like posters that the cast will make, and it'll be like one person in the cast, or it'll be a group project where they'll paint like a version of the show's poster. They'll either take the one that they have or they'll create their own, and it's posted backstage, and it's so cool because all like every member of the cast signs it, and you could just look around and like see the legacies there. And Steven, didn't you paint the show? And we were all like,
I did.
Excuse me? And the Madagascar.
He did.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up.
Well, Stephen does some incredible, Stephen does, see, I'm all lost for words. Stephen does some incredible work, and stay tuned, you guys. You're going to see him working live to make his magic happen. And speaking about magic occurring, let's see where they want to go. Beyonce's Black is King debuts today on Disney Plus. Tyler, I know you have so much to tell us about this topic, so you go ahead, take it away.
Oh my goodness. So first of all, I had a meeting at 8:30 in the morning. So I did not stay up until 2 a.m. for it to actually premiere on Disney Plus last night, even though I thought about it. And at first I thought it was premiering at midnight because Beyonce got on GMA and she was like, y'all gonna watch it tonight? And I was like, oh, well, perfect. But I didn't know she meant 2 a.m. No tea. Can't do that. So after my meeting, I had a second meeting at the high school, and I drove to the little daiquiri shop, got me a little sip, got me some food, got me some seafood, and I sat down here, perked myself up, had my ceiling fan on, air conditioning going so I wouldn't have to move, put my blanket on, and started it. And I have to say, it is a beautiful piece of art. It is just blackness. There's melanin everywhere. It's regal. It's colorful. It's just so beautiful. And it's interesting because it tells like a parallel story to The Lion King with actual dialogue, from the Lion King remake. So you're going to hear the voices of Childish Gambino and James Earl Jones. And it adds to this piece. It adds so much to this piece. You're also going to see African pop artists, which is so weird to say African and pop together because I don't think people really, associate those two styles of music together. But in Africa, they do. That's their pop music. That's their popular music. And those artists are all throughout the piece. You can see a lot of like work from different choreographers in every movement. It's just beautiful. The fashion, the colors, the story, It's empowering. It's beautiful. And honestly, I'm so glad that I got to watch it, especially at a moment where I'm transitioning in my life into a new career field. Like, it's just so inspiring. And it reminds you that not everything associated to Black skin is, associated to oppression. And it shows you that, like, we too come from kings and queens and all of this stuff. So I suggest everybody watch it. It's such a beautiful, just reminds me of an art piece. It's so refreshing to see Black people in these colorful, artistic pieces. It's simply beautiful. That's
Beautiful.
what I
Well,
have to say about
Well, a little bit more background information for that. So this is Beyonce's visual album, and you know she's notorious for keeping things a secret and pow, dropping it on you like, oh my God, Beyonce did it, because that's what she does. In addition to that, this was intentional, her dropping it a year after the remake of The Lion King, and she wanted it to be an accompaniment because it was inspired by her Lion King soundtrack album, The Gift, that she did in 2019. And she's very, very proud. And if you guys do remember that she recently signed $100 million movie deal with Disney. So this is not the last of Beyonce giving
Oh.
us visual spectacular productions. So Disney be about their business. I'm about to call it Disney, but I mean Beyonce and Disney. So it's like a combination of the two. They are both smart companies and they're very, very strategic. So I'm looking forward to watching that. I haven't seen it yet, and for all those that currently do not subscribe to Disney Plus, you can kind of pay that $6.99 so that you can experience this wonderful, visually stimulating, beautiful production that Beyonce has created. Stephen, your thoughts on Black is King, the Beyonce film?
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch it too. I think it's such a cool concept to like reinvent something that we already know. And similarly to the Lion King musical, Julie Taymor, there's an interview with her, and she, when they were first creating the Lion King musical, she said it's, a Black audience comes to see the Lion King, and a young Black boy sees himself up on the stage as king. And that is so powerful, and it's so relevant to what's going on right now. And I think just good job, Beyonce. I'm so excited to watch it.
Come on, Beyonce, hits us again with yet more flavor in your ear. Beyonce, she's a businesswoman. She's been working in this field for a while, and she just gets bigger and better. And I say, kudos to you, B. Keep on climbing that mountain. Speaking of climbing the mountain, Stephen, let us know where you are in the artistic process.
Okay, so I can't show you too much, but I'm cutting out shapes. Any ideas what it could be?
No clue. Any ideas?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Surprises.
Well, that's ahead.
Well, speaking of staying tuned for surprises, Laduca launches new. Oh, see, I always make an incorrection. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna take it away. Laduca announces new shoe shades. Okay, so for all my performing friends, we know that we like to get those good Laduca shoes to help us perform on the stage, but over past years, Laduca would not give us shades for people of color. It was just always the one shade, and has been this ongoing topic for years upon years. But because we have Black Lives Matter inclusive movement that's going on, we have the introduction of these new shoe shades. As a matter of fact, it is 4 new shades, and it is called the Laduca palette. Okay, and it is 4 new shades, and it is for the BIPOC, BIPOC, so that is for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, for them to be included. And I feel like this is a long time coming. We perform too, like this sort. I feel like theater I feel it's kind of amazing because, historically, theater was the place that the outsiders ended up in to kind of create a community. So I don't understand why people of color don't get lost in this mixture when it was designed to include those that weren't normally included. So that is always an ongoing conversation. And for the people on the top that are always like dumbfounded when it comes to other shades performing in front of you, why are you still startled? It is 2020. But whatever the case is, I'm glad that at least LaDuca has come on board. I know I'm excited because now I can get some shoes that are closely fitting to my, skin tone. So when you're doing your little twirls and stuff on the stage, I can step in style because I have my LaDuca that matches my skin tone. You feel me when I'm saying? Like it just gives you that extra boost of confidence. Like when the Band-Aids came out that match your skin tone, you're like, yes! Come on, Band-Aids. So it's just these little added things that as people in general want to feel included, and you want other things to boost your momentum and your confidence, because who doesn't want to be happy in life so that you can do the things that make people happy? Tyler, your thoughts?
I think it's great. I think there was some type of thing you could do with LaDuca, because I remember the big controversy in my college was we had a lot of Black female dancers, and there would be requirements that would go out for the shoes you would need to get, and they'd say flesh colored shoes, and it'd be and flesh colored tights, and it'd be what?
Wow.
And then we found out that LaDuca would custom make your flesh colored
It was so expensive,
but you had to pay so much money, which is
so
just
much money.
not fair. So I'm so happy that they finally got it together and did their thing, and they also named a shoe after Ariana DeBose. So they're really trying, they're doing their thing. So you know what? Good for you, LaDuca. Welcome to the party.
Yes, welcome. Stephen, your thoughts on this new LaDuca shoe line finally?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, of course. I can't believe it's taken this long to include everyone, but I'm glad that they finally are. It's funny because LaDuca just had a sale, and I bought my first pair of LaDucas,
Come on
and
now.
they're flesh-colored heels, by the way. But it's just my privilege, and I didn't even it didn't even occur to me that I would have to check what color they were. You know what I mean? So that's just my privilege, and I have to recognize that.
And I appreciate that you did, because sometimes people don't understand. Like when we'll be in the struggle, for makeup or for hair. Back in the day, and I'm saying back in the day, my mother's back in the day, before Beverly Johnson, there wasn't even makeup for the Black skinned woman. You were wearing some zombie colored makeup, and it never occurred to anybody that I don't want to step out looking like I'm in Thriller. I want it to be blended in so I look beautiful. But to hear you acknowledge the things that other groups have to fight for, and that is your privilege, and you're encouraging inclusivity. I think if people spend the time understanding each other's struggle, we could work things out. It's all about understanding and moving forward in a more unified front.
Yes. Yep.
Is everybody frozen? Oh my gosh, Lord! I think both of my guests are frozen. Hold on now, guys. We're having some technical difficulty, but that's okay. That's what happens. That must be the storm coming. You know what? Every time we have controversial conversations on Stream Live, these things always happen. What is that about? Are you there? Are you there, Stephen? Have we lost you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can't see you. We're just gonna keep on going. Tyler, are you there?
Yeah, I see everybody.
Okay, I don't know what's happening. Oops. There you go. All right, Tyler, did you have something to say before we move on with our LaDuca topic?
Oh no, I'm here. I love it. I love that LaDuca.
Okay, lovely. Let's see if Stephen, can we see him? Okay, you're back. Wonderful. Just a little bit of technical difficulties, guys, but we are moving on. Stephen, do you have an update for us in the creative process?
Okay, so most of my pieces are cut now, so I'm assembling them.
Oh my gosh, assembling. Wow.
With my glue stick.
Now, how long does it usually take you to finish one of these pieces?
Well, if I'm being honest, it takes a few hours. So I did a
Oh,
little
wow.
bit of the prep work before.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. Takes a few hours. Now, the more intricate the piece, the longer, yes? So can
Correct,
you give
yeah.
me like an idea of the like hour time frame per piece? Like for example, Megan's piece that you showed us, how long did that take?
Probably about 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll hold it up because I cut all of these individual details on the dress teeny tiny. So, um, yeah, that was the bulk
Wow.
of that part.
And the bag too? Oh my goodness. Let's show us one more time. Let's take a peek at the bag that you have there. Look
Yeah.
at that. Oh, it's not the bag, it's the inside of her
Sleeve, yeah.
sleeve. Yes. Okay. Well, whew, I can't wait to see what that says. And speaking about waiting for great things to happen prayerfully, okay, Oprah has put Breonna Taylor on her old magazine cover. This is the very first time in 20 years that Oprah has done this because, as we know, Oprah is always in the cover of her magazine. And contrary to popular belief, the only reason why she does that is because finding people for your cover is very time consuming. I can kind of speak to that because finding guests for a show, making sure they're available, making sure they can come on is time consuming and you have to kind of work with everyone's schedule. So in order to bypass that, Oprah decides to put herself there because she always knows where she's going to be and at any given time of the year. But with all that is happening with Breonna Taylor and it not getting, well, I mean, everyone's talking about it and they're trying to push the thought of people moving forward so that we can arrest these people or move forward in some sort of legal capacity and it fallen on deaf ears. Oprah has decided to put her picture there as a way to draw more attention. And if you go on to the old magazine website, Oprah has written a very well detailed and heartfelt article, not only about Breonna Taylor, but how she feels and why she felt compelled to put her on the cover. And there's also a petition that you can sign to get some legal movements happening so that we can get things going for Breonna Taylor so she can get some justice. And Oprah also spoke to Breonna Taylor's mother, which her name is Tamika Palm, about the cover. So she went through a variety of different steps to really amplify this subject so that more or something can be done because quite frankly, not much has been done about it. As we know, Breonna Taylor was killed in her home on March 13th. It is um, almost August, and we have not had much movements happen about this and some information about the cover. So this is for the September edition of O Magazine that comes out on August 11th. Although it's in September, it will start being on racks on August 11th. And also, O Magazine will come to a conclusion in terms of its booklet form in December 2020. So this all kind of aligns herself in making these loud noises so that you can bring attention to more of what's happening in the Black community, but this in the community people of things that we need to keep paying attention to so that we can share information and get to justice so that these things don't happen to anybody else. You know, that's the hope. Stephen, your thoughts on this?
I mean, bravo, Oprah. Thank you for doing it. I can't believe that something that is so black and white, like clearly she was murdered, there's really no question about that, is even up for debate.
Right.
But that's where we are in the world right now, and we're trying to, make changes regarding that, and hopefully this will spark the change that we need.
I 100% agree. Tyler, are you there for us? What are your
I,
thoughts?
I tried to turn the light on and then forgot that my power is out, so can't do
Ah,
that.
okay.
But
We can still see you.
yeah, but it baffles me that an investigation into this murder started on May like 23rd, I believe,
Right.
and here we are at the end of July, and we've heard nothing about it. Meanwhile, the attorney general is having, engagement parties, and we see people running free and people are put on paid leave. And it's like, well, look, we just need to know as the American people what you're doing. We need to know details. We need to know what's going on. We need to
Good
know
point.
why the apartment. We need to know why she was shot so many times. We need to know why she was dead for 20 minutes before she received assistance. We need to know why she was not ever the suspect. Not one suspect in this case was a female. So we want to know why you shot a female, a trained officer shot a female. And this is coming from someone who grew up in a family full of officers. I have a strong love for officers. I have so many friends who are officers. I have a strong love for anyone who puts their life on the line to make sure that I can live comfortably. However, that's a responsibility.
Yes.
If I'm going to hold you up to be one of my heroes, if I'm going to raise my kids to look at you as heroes, I'm going to hold you accountable. Okay? And that's not superhero behavior when you're walking into a Black woman's apartment and you're shooting her dead. That's not what it is. Woof. Breonna Taylor gets me sometimes because I don't understand. And it just goes into another testament of how the Black woman is the most disrespected person in this country. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, because I can guarantee you, if Breonna Taylor was a white woman, we would get updates every day on every news station. And it frustrates me. She was an essential worker. They are at the top of everyone's. There is not one person, Republican, Democrat, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's coming for essential workers right now in the EMT, in the hospital industry, in the healthcare industry. Nobody's coming for those people right now. We're all raising them up. So how can this Black woman, she's not gotten justice yet. You know what I mean? Beyonce's written a letter. Oprah put her on the cover. Can something happen, please?
Yeah, amen.
Get something, an update, please. So that's what I have to say.
So I encourage everyone, take the time out. If you don't pick up the magazine on the shelf racks, you can always go on to the website and just read and learn more about her as a person. Oprah has an interview there with her mother, and just help to shed some more light. And as Tyler says, get something moving, some sort of acknowledgement, so that we can move forward, so that there is some justice for this woman. Because listen, guys, civil rights movement in this country is not an open shut situation. It is always progressive. It's always moving. And thankfully, I would say historically, I think this is the first time we've had so many of the shades outside of our own shade that is fighting with us on the front line. So it is not a race. It is definitely a marathon, and it takes everyone to work together to make a difference for the world to change. So here's hoping things can be better. I'm sending good vibrations for that. And Oprah is a fighting woman, so I know she won't disappoint. She'll do her part. Stephen, do you have an update for us?
Yes, I'm done.
Oh, wait. You going to share what's like the reveal?
Yeah, are you ready?
Oh my gosh. Tyler, are you ready for the reveal?
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, Shuga, I don't know if you remember this costume, but this is you in The Wiz.
Come on now. Yes. I love that skirt bottom. Come on, puffy hair. You know how I feel about my big hair. Yes. Look at that. Look at that. Wait, bring it up. We got to show everybody again. Look at that. My favorite is the hat. Wow. Look at that. That is brilliant. And the shoes.
Thanks.
Yes. Come on now.
So that'll be coming your way, so get ready for it.
Come on, birthday gifts. That's for everybody knows that August is coming. I am a Leo, and I'm with Stephen, who is also a fellow Leo, who just celebrated his birthday this week. So a happy belated birthday to you. Yes. Thank you so much for showing us your craftiness. And it was just like a magic trick. Voila. And I'm going to be able to hang that in my lovely home. Stephen, don't forget to sign that, because I have to have one of your original pieces hanging, and I'm just so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. Right. as we get ready to kind of wind things down because Tyler is losing light, but he was so wonderful to stay with us through his blackout. It is rough in these streets, but he is hanging on, and I appreciate that. Just for everyone that's looking for things to watch over the weekend, in addition to Beyonce's Black is King on Disney Plus, the Umbrella Academy season 2 also premieres on Netflix actually today. So if you have watched that show, get ready for season 2. If you haven't, jump in and watch it. It is another great piece. You're going to love it. I will not be with you guys next week because it is my birthday. Happy New Year for Shuga because it's another new year for me. So unfortunately, I will not be with you next week. Or we will not, Tyler and I, be with you next week, but we will be with you the following week, following Friday, for more hot topics in film and theater. And we can't conclude without reminding everyone to please wear your mask. Stephen, I would like to hear your final words on this, especially since you're out there in Arizona where they're not wearing their masks. Let me know your closing thoughts.
I mean, I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said, but I really, really, really want to get back on stage. It's not only my profession, but my deep, deep passion, and I want to get back to it as soon as I possibly can. And your compliance is much appreciated.
Right. So true. Come on. Our health is contingent on you guys doing what you need to do. So let us work together. Tyler, your final words before we can't see you anymore. Your final thoughts.
Black out. Thank God for cellular data. But
Yes.
what I would say is just wear the mask because look, if you wear it now, you won't have to wear it later. That's my new tactic, okay? It's like, just entertain us now. We may be crazy. We're not, but we may be crazy. So just wear the mask now and you won't have to wear it later. From Tyler Price.
I agree. And on that note, I'm going to say again at a third time, because 3 is the charm. Okay, that's what I understand. Please wear your mask. Please be safe. Please spread more love. Be inclusive. Be understanding, because the world operates better when we all hold each other accountable and all work together. So, Stephen, thank you again for being this week's guest on Shuga Says Yes.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure.
Yes, and show us again for those that may have just popped in your craft project.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Come on, Mini Shuga. Yes, I can't wait to hang that on my wall. And for all you guys, continue to be safe, continue to be positive, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Ha ha.